ordinary pebblestones from the river. So this huge room might be divided for a while. There is doorstep, so there was kind of a small luxury room. It could be dining hall, activity place to meet the guests coming to visit the noble family. There was the former main entrance in this area. Over there was the entrance to the small garden. There used to be the well, source of water. Now there is another source of drink. Perfect temperature for that, for sure. Maybe you've just heard that Prague is supposed to be really haunted. Just ghost stories. Basically, every quarter somebody died in a really special way. Now his ghost is walking around. And there are many legends about people who were kind of punished by being bricked behind the wall while they were still alive. Really popular punishment for cheating ladies. And if you have a look inside of that smaller room, right in the middle there's part of the wall which was built much later. It has no special reason to be there. So one of those ghost stories about bricked ladies. It's from here as well. Yeah. Said that one cheating lady was just bricked behind that part of the wall. If you come here after midnight, that's the ghost time. Maybe you can meet her ghost. If you drink enough beer, definitely you will meet the ghost, and you can ask what really happened. But just be careful, the more beer you drink, the more ghosts. Yeah, that's why we have thousands of stories in our city, of course. As I said, there was the former main entrance. Next to the door, there was just a little window for you to see who is coming to visit you. Otherwise, this part of the building was the storage place, mainly. It would be the supplies. During the strong winter time, the noble family would receive animals hidden in this part of the house. That's why we have the bugs over there in a slow breathing. Down here we can see the remain of the former drainage, which was something very modern for the beginning of the 12th century. There was no official drainage system yet. That time people really enjoyed to throw all the rubbish directly outside to the streets. And that was actually another reason why the city was completely raised. It was already pretty smelly. So the easiest solution was to bury all the rubbish on the streets and to build a new fresh city on the top of the previous one. Yeah? And only that time the first official drainage system of our city was built. Here in the old town, we use some parts of that old drainage still nowadays. There is that really luxury street, Paris. It's coming from the river to the old town square. They are the most expensive shops and the oldest part of the drainage. So it's really luxury, especially during the hot rainy days. Then you can smell how luxury place it is. So it's quite funny paradox of one of the most expensive streets in the whole Europe even now. If you have a look up there, you can see that this part of the ceiling looks a bit younger than the rest. So from here, this place was rediscovered in 1942. Just imagine someone was digging up there, then he fell down here and found this place. As I told you, our city was raised in hope to prevent the floods. That was definitely a really great idea, but it didn't solve the problem that much. We are still really often flooded. Here you can see the flood map from 2002. That was one of the worst floods ever. At that time, the level of the river rose by 6 meters. Houses were flooded up to second floors. And all the underground locations, they were completely flooded. Everything under the water, completely. So it was really bad. We will see many pictures in the second underground location, so I will talk a bit more about it later. But now, please, after you. And that's why it's still here. That's why it never collapsed. Yeah, so that was a really good idea to build it like that. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, now we're good.
Have a nice time. Come here. Bye-bye. No, don't worry. I'm just only going to explain why we have such a small door. Yeah? Of course, you can say that people are taller than us back in the medieval times. On average, they were, but there was not really such a big difference. The average height of the ladies was more or less like me. I have 1 meter 60 centimeters. So it's alright for me, but definitely not for hired people. And usually attackers, those would be huge men in the armor with the helmet. The former main entrance used to be there, so they would come from that direction. So we have the smaller door from this side, and then they would have to go down it. They wouldn't have enough space to use their weapons. From your side, you want to protect your house, so you have a little bit bigger space, which gives you great advantage. You don't have to go down, and you have enough space to use any kind of the weapon. Yeah. So this is really simple but really clever way of protection. Yeah. And that's really similar like the clockwise stairs in the old castles. Usually people were hidden upstairs, attackers were going up. And usually people are right-handed, which means that they hold the weapon in their right hand. If you go up the clockwise stairs, there is the column in the middle. And then you don't have space to use your weapon in your right hand. But if you go down, again, you have more space and it's much easier for you to fight, to protect your house. Simple, clever, yeah? So next time we will visit any of the old castles, let's try how it works. Just don't forget that the last step on the top was usually higher than the previous ones. It was like the last trap for the attackers. Even though they would succeed to get to the top, they kind of get the rhythm of the stairs. Last one is higher, so they can just go down, and then it's again much easier to fight. Clever. No more fighting. We will be free again. And let's imagine that this room was kind of the living room, the place where the noble family would meet during the day. Again, just the luxury flat stones on the floor. In this area, there was the original staircase leading to the first floor. It used to be the only access up there, and they were the bedrooms of the noble family originally. In the corner, there was another fireplace. This one is even much better preserved than the first one. So, as I said, kind of the living room corner. In that corner, there was the entrance to the tower. And it would be easier protected by the soldiers. Yeah. Nowadays the tower is just part of the building. I will show you the other effect. If you have a look on the walls, you can see this level. From this level up, there are huge stones of the similar size and the same layers. From this level down, of the same stones anymore. We can see the same level of the pillar in the middle. This is the original level of the floor. The easiest way how to get more space to make it a little bit deeper. This is nothing. Really often people build here another up to 3 floors into the underground. Yeah. It was easier than to try to build the new floors on the top. They usually didn't have to ask for any official permission to do that. That means no any extra fee for that. Yeah, no permission, no fee for the rent of the space and whatever. So it was usually just easier to dig and create new rooms into the underground. There were really no rules. Really often they were even digging under someone else's houses. Basically, who was first, his space it was. We will see something like that in the second underground location. There will be in the end 3 floors in the underground. Yeah. I just remember the first floor in the underground is the original street level floor. Those are the original houses which were buried. And everything which was built on the top or below, that's younger. Yeah. So we are now inside of the original house. This is the oldest one. You can see the most luxury one. We are back in the beginning of the 12th century. That time this was really great luxury palace. That time people were mainly living in really small houses. Many of them, they were still even wooden ones. And the average size of the family house, that was just only 10 square meters. Just imagine, yeah? And the families were even a little bit bigger than nowadays. Ladies, what do you think? How many times you would be pregnant in your life that time? 15 times on average. Yeah, so just imagine. Yeah, of course, kids were dying, yeah, so there would be just only 3 of them who would survive. But still, the families were pretty big ones. Yeah, you would be living for generations together, and the houses were really, really small. So this is really luxury place. Alright, so let's have a look around, and then we will continue.